Okay, fine.
So, Parth, I am Ritesh. I look after the international division at Pratham. Primarily, I design the entire programs here. I look after the entire servicing as well. So, I have been into this profession for almost 18 years of my life, and I look after the student counseling services as well as the course finalization, strategy of application, and the profile building services. Okay,
Okay.
so I work here as the deputy general manager, and that is how it stands. So now I would like to know a little bit about you, Parth. So there are certain questions that I have in my mind, which I'll ask
Yeah.
one after the other. Thereafter, you guys can start asking your questions, whatever questions you have in your mind. I'll answer them as descriptively as possible. Okay?
Okay.
I have no time foundations. Okay, so you can be as free as possible. Okay.
Yeah.
So, Parth, you're in class 11, if I'm not wrong,
Yeah. Yeah.
and you go to the Heritage Rohini, right?
Yeah. Yes. That is good.
Okay, and you have quite an interesting subject combination, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
Right? So you have biology, maths,
And
economics.
commerce. Yeah.
Apart from, I mean, rather than having accountancy, you moved out accountancy out of your curriculum, is it?
Yeah. Yeah.
And all as well chemistry.
No. 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 Like I do. I have only biology and nothing else, including science. Like biology with commerce specifically and maths as well. So.
Okay, okay. So, what was the reason behind having only biology with commerce?
Okay, so like first of all, I really didn't want to like go into physics and stuff. So like no specifically medical and non-medical, no doctor, engineer and stuff. So like I was more interested towards like scientific gene crossing and stuff. So like biotechnology, and many universities offer bio and maths. Like they offer biotech with bio and maths. So like
Hmm.
I have a plan of biotechnology in future maybe, and yeah, so like I opted, and our school was also offering due to the NEP, so I thought that maybe we can go
Right.
for it.
So, did you check with certain university websites regarding their conditions or eligibility criteria?
Yeah, like there are certain universities in India as well, and like abroad as well, like liberal arts colleges, like they don't like it doesn't really matter whichever stream you choose. So like
Okay.
uh,
So, what
yeah,
all colleges did you check?
so like I checked Grinnell College of Iowa. So like it's a liberal art college, and so like my both sisters study there. So like cousin sisters. So like they they guided me a little, and they said that like in liberal arts colleges it doesn't really matter whichever stream you choose. You can start a whole new thing over there. So like my sister studied commerce over here in India, and over there she's doing CS without
Hmm.
having any knowledge of CS in India. So
Right. She
like
must have had mathematics with her as a subject.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
That was the reason.
yeah.
Great. So, what is the plan of action? What are you willing to study?
Sorry.
I mean, bio was one subject that you had. Great.
Yeah.
So now, after finishing plus two, what is it that you are really willing to study? Is it more towards the managerial side or is it more towards the bio side?
So like not specifically decided this thing as such right now, but like maybe what I think is like if biotech doesn't like fit, so like then maybe I'll go into the commerce side as well, because I have maths as well. So like
Hmm.
I have both the options
True,
open to me.
true. I think it will be easier for you to get through the commerce oriented courses, for example,
Yeah.
business management or
Yeah.
say financial courses or finance oriented
Mm.
courses, economics. All of that is an absolute possibility because having accounts or not having accounts does not affect your opportunity there.
Yeah.
But when you start looking at biotechnology, microbiology, genetics, virology, environmental sciences, most of the universities, for that matter,
Yeah.
ask for physics or chemistry. I mean, out
Mm.
of physics, chemistry, and biology, you should have two combinations. You should have two
Okay.
subjects. Okay?
Mm.
So that is with most of them. But yes, you are correct that some of the liberal arts universities in liberal arts colleges in United States,
Mm.
they can give you opportunities to start with a bio program also, in spite of not having chemistry. Okay.
Yeah.
So that is a possibility, but then there are possibilities of going through a foundation program, which wastes a lot of time, right?
Hmm.
And also, my idea of talking to students today is more towards sending them to universities rather
Hmm.
than colleges. I prefer doing that because that is something which is more valuable, right?
Hmm.
So that is one. So what we can do with your part is that probably I can give you a mentor who can help
Okay.
you to realize that what
Yeah.
are you at and what you should look for. Because I believe that is the most important question where you are stuck,
Hmm.
right? So that can happen with a set of tests as well as counseling, plus with a given set of exercises. So let's
Okay.
say I ask you to participate in a social entrepreneurship venture. You
Hmm.
start with the project and then suddenly you feel that, I'm not meant for it. I don't like the program. That gives us a solid reaction and helps us to understand that which way you are swinging. So that way is probably we can figure out things better. I mean, tests can be partially correct. Counseling
Hmm.
is majorly a hunch, but once you start doing activities, that gives us a concrete evidence of where and what you could be probably doing. Okay?
Yeah.
So that is my way of looking at things. That is number one. And very importantly, we are almost at the fag end of your class 11th. So
Yeah.
by this time, we should be able to finalize in the next 30 days, we should be able to finalize a course and a career for you. Because by the month of March, you should have to plan your universities.
Hmm.
So if that has to happen, then this has to happen immediately. This one. Okay, more or less I have understood. Can you give me your percentages from class ninth onward, like the overall percentages?
Okay. So like in class ninth, I was at 94, and in class 10th, I scored 92, and
Oh,
11th, I'm pursuing. So
great. Great. And 11th, I hope it's going well.
yeah, pretty much.
Just don't lose the focus there, because
Yeah.
academics in itself is such a strong tool that it can help you land up at any top-notch university across the world. Okay? So I have had enough examples of students in my life who didn't do much in their profile, but were very strong with academics and landed up at pretty, competitive universities. Okay?
Hmm.
Both in Asia as well as outside Asia also. Right? So another thing, as ma'am is sitting here. So let me tell you, ma'am, that I always follow a policy of having several letters of acceptances on our table in June 2024, and then deciding that where would I go, rather than pursuing only a couple of universities and then landing up at a situation where I didn't get much of offers. Rather than doing that, I would rather enlarge my window and apply to as many places as possible, get as many offer letters as possible, and then probably take a decision where to. Okay. So with that consideration, I would request you to not only apply outside India, but also to apply to courses in India as well. And in India
Yeah, yeah, of
also,
course, sir. Yeah,
है ना?
we will
So
definitely apply, sir.
great. So in India, there would be two options. One, you can apply all the commerce related courses and on one front. You can apply to the bio related courses on the other front. So that is a broad classification. There is a subdivisional classification also. So for, let's say, the commerce related courses, you can have two sets of universities, traditional and the modern age or the liberal arts universities.
Hmm.
So for both the courses, you can have simultaneously two options, traditionals and the liberal arts. So that means your Indian counterpart will be ready with almost say 20-25 odd universities. Okay? And when you look outside India, there could be n number of countries where you can send your applications and you can get
Hmm.
accepted also. So, Parth, any particular country of your choice where you would like to go?
Not specifically, but I was targeting the US. So
Obviously, with your sisters being there, you would like.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So like
Hmm. So, which part of US are they?
they are in Iowa. They both are
Acha,
in the
Iowa.
Grinnell
Iowa.
College. Yeah.
Perfect, 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 perfect. Great. So this can happen. No worries whatsoever. Are you planning to take up any standardized tests like the SAT or ACT?
Yeah, yeah. I was preparing for the SAT as well as IELTS. Like I'll start with IELTS. SAT
Mhm.
I've been preparing, and I had to give it in December, but like now I'm planning to give it in March only.
No issues. No issues
Yeah.
with that. Take your time. Take your time. Take as many mocks as possible. When you see that you're scoring above 1450 or 1500, then is
Yeah.
the actual time to go for it. Your target score should not be anything less than 1450.
Yeah.
You have to, because you have very good percentages. You have the honors
Hmm.
of getting into a top university. Okay? A top university meaning I wanted something like anything between 50 to 100th ranked university in United States,
Hmm.
according to the QS ranking. Okay.
Yeah.
So 50 to 100 would mean I'm looking at NYU, I'm looking at Duke, I'm looking at probably Wisconsin, I'm probably looking at Carnegie, those kind of universities. So if you can get through those places, nothing like, right? But in order to get through there, your 25th percentile of SAT is not going to be less than 14.
Okay.
And until and unless you cross the 25th percentile mark, as far as SAT is considered, you are not scoring.
Hmm.
I hope you know the way these guys at the admission council, how they mark you for each of the parameters.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so it is a rating between 1 to 5 marks for each parameter, and the parameter might include academics, standardized test scores, essays, extracurricular activities, social work, work experience, and your subject motivation. So these are the major 7 parameters on the basis of which you are marked. So once you send your application, the first reader downloads and they mark you between 1 to 5, where 1 is the highest score and 5 is the lowest. So let's say I have a SAT score which is say 1300. So probably I'll be
Hmm.
marked as 3 or 4, okay, depending on the university. And if I have a score which is 1450 and above, probably 1 or 2. So that is how it works, right? Okay, now it's up to you to ask your set of questions and I'll answer each question as possible. Please go ahead.
So like if you could just tell, cause like I've been preparing for SAT, so like SAT specifically it's for you for the US, and like for like if you have if I have a chance to go to like universities in Europe, so like should I pursue IELTS or TOEFL? So like
So for across the world, if you are
yeah.
planning to apply to multiple countries, it is beneficial to apply for IELTS because
Okay.
IELTS is more widely acceptable than TOEFL.
Hmm.
Okay. TOEFL is more acceptable in the United States.
Okay.
One correction here, my friend, that SAT in US is going to be mandatory by the time when you apply.
Yeah.
And SAT in India is also holding a very interesting position.
Hmm.
So there are a lot of universities now in India, like for example, the examples of Ashoka,
Ashoka, yeah.
Plaksha, Kriya, Flame, OP Jindals, in fact, VIT, SRM, these kind of universities have started accepting the SAT score.
Hmm.
Even for commerce related courses, Narsi Monji in Mumbai accepts SAT score. Okay. So makes a lot of sense for us to have a good score. Okay. So
Hmm.
that is how it is. Any other question?
Okay, so so like also about the scholarship, so like if you could tell.
Oh, so look, the major scholarships across the world are awarded by United States.
Hmm.
And there also, if you look at the scholarship lists, all the top scholarships majorly they come because of your academics. Okay.
Hmm.
So academics is a primary reason. Beyond the academics, there are several scholarships which are offered by universities, which include social work as a parameter.
Okay.
For example, if I look at Duke University, they have a scholarship called the Karsh International Scholarship. Now, that scholarship is dependent on certain parameters like your academic excellence, any research work that you have undertaken, projects that you've undertaken beyond your academics, social work, These are the four main parameters on the basis of which they provide the scholarship, and it's 100% tuition fee based scholarship, although it's a private fund. Similarly, if you look at Washington University at St. Louis, they have a scholarship which is highly dependent on academics and social work. And again, it's 100% scholarship. So these kind of scholarships should be looked at by us because merit wise you are there. Okay, so that is how things are now for scholarships and for admissions both in United States, because United States is a country which does not only look at one parameter. अगर इंडिया होता तो वो सिर्फ मार्क्स देख के एडमिशन दे देते या
Yes.
एंट्रेंस देख के एडमिशन दे देते, लेकिन वहां ऐसा नहीं होता है. I mean, in US particularly. So what they look at is a host of parameters. So we need to do, I mean, we need to work on our profile exceedingly well in the next 8 to 9 months. And we need to package ourselves in a certain way that we are able to prove ourselves as uniquely different than the rest of your counterparts. This is the most important, being uniquely different. Okay? So, for example, most of your colleagues at your school will not have any work ex with,
Yeah.
right? Am I correct on that front? But probably I can help you in getting some relevant work ex on your profile. And for that, you do not have to go anywhere. You'll sit at home and probably you'll work 1 hour today. Probably you will not work tomorrow. Probably day after tomorrow, probably you can work half an hour. As as you wish. Okay, you can
Mm.
work. And the day you complete that given project and you submit the press button and upload your project, you immediately get your e-cert.
Okay.
So this is a unique service that I provide from my platform, okay, which you can also avail, and it will create a huge difference with the rest of your counterparts. That is one.
Mm.
Secondly, if you're looking at bio-related or economics-related programs, then in that case, research is quite a compulsion. When I say
Mm.
research, probably I can get you or help you to publish a research paper. And at an age of 16 or 17, you can publish a research paper. I believe that you will go 10 steps ahead than the rest of the country.
Mm.
Because there will be hardly anybody who would have a research paper at your age. And probably that phenomena or that activity can help you to promote yourself for the next 5 to 10 odd years.
Mm.
Right? क्योंकि आप सोच कर देखो, यहाँ पर आपकी मॉम बैठी हुई है, मैं बैठा हुआ हूँ. I don't have a research paper yet in my life. I'm 40
Yeah.
years old, right? Many of us in my age or even lesser also do not have any research papers in their kitty because we didn't invest ourselves, right?
Mm.
Most research papers written by students are in their masters,
Okay.
right? So if a school guy, a student who is in school, you can write a research paper, definitely you make a mark in the minds of anybody. You prove your interest towards the course. You also prove your capability of doing research. So you become an asset for any university. Because all of these universities, they want us to come and land up there, help them do their research.
Mm.
Okay. So in that perspective, we are quite a strong case. If we can
Okay.
already do research at school, then they think that if you can come on campus, you can help them with a lot of things.
Mm.
So let them feel very comfortable and very let us make ourselves feel very attractive, for the university. Okay.
Yeah.
So these two things. Thirdly, selfish people, people who look only towards themselves, are a strict no-no for the international campuses.
Okay.
Today, international campuses want people who come and study at their campus, go out and work for the betterment of the world.
Mm.
And that is the only way that the university earns its name. Because आप जितना बड़ा काम करोगे यूनिवर्सिटी का उतना बड़ा नाम है.
Yes. You're right.
So वो स्पार्क हमको अभी से दिखाना पड़ेगा. So normally people what they do here in India is probably they will ask their parents or their relatives or their friends to gather a certificate from an NGO and give it to them.
Mm.
Jugaad, right? Now universities abroad they have understood that. उनको पता चल जाता है कि आपने कुछ किया है कि नहीं किया है. Once they start
mm,
looking at your essays, when they start interviewing you, they know that whether or not you've done something, right? So instead of looking at a certificate, my idea is not to think about admissions, not to think about scholarships, but genuinely go and help people, environment,
mm,
or animal. Whatever strikes you, probably consumer rights, probably that
mm,
strikes you. Probably environment in Delhi strikes you.
mm.
Probably water conservation strikes you. Anything. But what are you going to do about it, and how consistent are you, and how effective are you? Is very important. Right? So I'm sure that you would have seen your cousin sisters going abroad, but probably they would not have done these sort of things when they were going abroad.
Yeah, not specifically.
Right. It is primarily because they were not targeting the kind of universities that you should be targeting.
Mm,
I'm not sure what they were scoring in their schools, whether or not they were eligible. But as of now, where I can see you from is that you are strictly eligible. So why should
mm.
I lose an opportunity of going to a high ranked university? I mean, don't take me otherwise, but if my
Yeah, yeah,
sister
yeah.
went into a college in US,
Mm,
even though it might be a good college at Iowa, but I would still think about myself that am I better or
mm.
not? If I am, then why should I be going at the same place or at the same kind of opportunity?
No, that is not necessary, sir. We will go for the same college. That is not.
हाँ, कॉलेजेस ना मैं बहुत अच्छा नहीं समझता. मुझे लगता है
Hmm.
कि यूनिवर्सिटीज में ज्यादा कंपटीशन होता है, वहां पर ज्यादा
Hmm.
मुश्किल होता है. और मेरे
Hmm.
को बचपन से ये सिखाया गया है कि जिस भी यूनिवर्सिटी की यात्रा जितनी मुश्किल, आगे की यात्रा उतनी आसान.
Right.
ठीक है ना? So let us do that kind of a thing. Now, if you're looking at United States, let me tell you that the preparation of United States will help you get prepared for the rest of the world.
Mm.
Okay? So automatically you'll be able to get through the rest of the world when you are preparing for United States. Okay? So एक ही काम करेंगे उससे हमारे बाकी सारे काम आसान. So 3-4 areas: work experience, research work, social work, three things. Additionally, we will take up some additional courses online,
Mm.
additional learning online, which is beyond our curriculum, just to prove the interest that we have towards the course that we are applying. These are the only four things that we will help you doing. And for this, there will be three mentors who will be assigned. In fact, two mentors, sorry. The
Mm.
first mentor would be helping you to do the social work and the research project, and he is your chief mentor. The second mentor will be doing more of a follow-up service with you. Plus, they would be giving you day-to-day activities. For example, there is a quiz activity coming from IIT Gandhinagar. Or let's say
Mm.
there is a math competition coming from, say, SP Jain Institute of Management. So she will be offering you those kind of competitions time and again, which you may approve for joining or you may not approve looking at your circumstances. You might be
Yeah.
too busy with your exams or your curriculum, so you might say a no as well. And at times when you're free and you feel interested for it, you might go ahead. All of these will become additions in your resume and will add to your profile. Parth, do you have a LinkedIn profile?
No, no, not yet.
What I'll do is I'll just show you something. You'll be able to
Okay.
understand of what we do exactly.
Yeah.
This is one of my student. I'll just show it to you. He's from DPS Whitefield in Bangalore,
Okay.
and I'll just show you his profile. Here it is. You can see what is written at the top head. Student at DPS Whitefield,
Mm.
data analyst at Illinois Institute of Technology, is a car geek, Formula One enthusiast. So this is very briefly, but talks a lot about him. Okay.
Mm.
Now let us look at his experience. Look at this. These are all the internships that he's done.
Mm.
Software engineer, game developer with EA Sports. You
Mm.
must be aware of EA Sports, right?
Yeah.
engineering intern with GE,
Hmm.
cyber security analyst with PwC, which is PricewaterhouseCoopers, software engineer. There are
Hmm.
10 total experiences. That means he's done more than 10 internships. You can see
Hmm.
here, engineering intern with John Holland, data analyst with
Hmm.
Cognizant, consultant with Accenture, data analyst with Quantum, solutions
Hmm.
architect at Amazon.
Hmm.
Okay.
And he's right now moved into class 12. So last year he was in class 11th, just like,
Okay.
okay. So if you go back and look at the amount of licenses and certifications that he has had, these are the licenses and certifications. So there are
Hmm.
68 licenses and certifications. And you'll see
Hmm.
that everything is taken up in 2022.
Okay.
This is how you need to build up.
Hmm.
There are several ये जो सारा आप देख रहे हो ना ये सारा हमने क्रिएट किया। ठीक है, बस ये है कि इस बच्चे ने मेहनत बहुत की, हमने उसे बताते गए और वो चीजें करता
ये
चला
साइंस
गया।
स्टूडेंट सर, ये साइंस स्टूडेंट।
Yes, ma'am. He's a PCM student.
हाँ, पीसीएम स्टूडेंट ना, ओके।
PCM student. So there are commerce students also who've done
हम्म।
equivalently well. He is very close to
हम्म।
my heart, obviously.
हम्म।
He has a national record at the moment, which is for doing 18, 18 internships within 30 days. So that's a national
नाइस।
record. So that
हम्म।
is the kind of a thing that you need to do. You have to truly outstand yourself. Otherwise, commoners के साथ खड़े होने में कोई मजा नहीं है, ठीक है?
या यू आर राइट।
So इतनी जब मेहनत आपने इतने सालों में की है, तो उसका फायदा उठाते हैं ना जब थोड़ा आगे चल के, right?
Hmm.
So that is how it works. So weekly there will be a meeting where you will be given directions as to how to proceed with your research or how to proceed with your social work. Every third day, you will get a call from your second mentor who will do a follow-up कि कितना काम हो गया, कितना रह गया, and जो छोटा मोटा एक्टिविटीज है, let's say कोई कन्वेन आ रहा है या कोई क्विज आ रहा है या कोई ओलंपियाड आ रहा है या कोई इंटर्नशिप आ रही है, so they will keep you posted on that, and you need to tell them that which one you want to participate. The one you want to participate, we'll send you the link, you join and you start.
Hmm.
That is how it works. Ma'am will be given a notification through a monthly report as to how many activities were given, how many were completed, how many are incomplete. Plus, you will also be a part of the WhatsApp group that is for your family, which means
Hmm.
both the parent, student, and my entire team would be submerged in that WhatsApp group, and whatever communication flows, everyone will be aware of it. Okay, so that is how it works. Plus, there is a monthly PTM for you to attend, ma'am, and you will be talking to the chief mentor, understanding that what happened this month, how is he performing, and what is the plan for the next month. This is how the entire system will operate. This is a total online platform based system, wasting no time and energy in terms of travel.
हम्म।
Plus, there is an applications team which will take over the role of the mentor from the month of April or May, where we will start planning your universities. Thereafter, June or July, they will hand over the essay prompts to you. By August, they will start editing the essay prompts. And by September, you would have sent your first set of applications to US universities with early application or early decision deadlines.
Okay.
I hope you know that they have three kinds of deadlines: EAED, regular, and then late, deadline. So
हम्म।
most of the scholarships and admissions happen in the EAED deadline.
Early.
Early action.
Okay.
Yes, early action, early decision. Okay. So
Hmm.
we will try and post as much as possible in the early action. And if there is something that you want to apply later on, that will be applied in the regular section. Okay. So
Hmm.
that is how we go about it. By January, I believe if you apply in the early action, by January, you will start getting your offer letters. And US gives
Okay.
us confirmed offers. No conditional
Hmm.
offers, confirmed offers. So once you
हम्म।
get your confirmed offers by the month of January, you will be totally, at peace with your mind because your boards have not happened, but you have got your admission letters done, right?
Yeah.
So you can go with a free mind with your boards. Once you complete your board and get your mark sheets, you can file the visa and off you fly in the month of July, okay, or
Hmm.
August probably. Month of August, you will fly.
Hmm.
So that is how the entire program will work, and we are with you till August 2024. That is how the system works. Any other questions, ma'am, that you
No, not as such.
have? Okay. So, I mean, how sure are you of going abroad? I mean, looking at your questions, it seems that you're still thinking.
So like first target, like our first priority is going abroad only, but like we're thinking
Only
of,
when we'll get the scholarship, sir.
yeah.
Hmm. So,
Because
if
without scholarship, it's not very much.
affordable.
Yeah, it's not affordable for
Okay.
anyone, sir. It's not for us. It's not
True,
affordable for
true,
us.
true. So, what we can
If
do
we
is,
get good scholarship, then it's definitely he'll go. Otherwise, we'll planning to
so what we
the
can
or
do
like
is,
local.
we can help you in applying to the liberal arts universities in India. We
Hmm.
can help you in applying to US universities for
Hmm.
scholarships, and we can help you also to apply in certain universities in Europe where the tuition fee is far lower. So, for example, if you look at this country called Netherlands,
Hmm.
Which
so they
country?
have
Netherlands.
Netherlands.
Okay,
So, if you
Netherlands.
look at their universities, their total expense, inclusive of your tuition, food, living, conveyance, etc., total expense should not be exceeding 70 lakh rupees for 3 years. So if you compare that with United States, in United States you're spending around about 2.5 crores for a period of
Hmm.
4 years. So compared to
Hmm.
that, you're almost nothing, right? So I believe that if expenditure is a big concern, let us only apply to those universities in US which have a prehistory of providing scholarship. Okay, and then rest of the applications should be sent to Netherlands where the cost of tuition is very low and the work opportunity is pretty good. And then there should be a third layer where we are applying to all the Indian universities, inclusive of the traditional as well as the modern age. So overall, if you apply to these many universities, you'll get through a lot of universities, and probably then we can take a call as to how the cost factor goes. We can take a call on that in June 2020.
Yeah.
Sounds good, ma'am?
Yeah, yeah, good, sir.
Great. So what we will do is we'll ask my colleague Anjali to remain in touch with you. We've lost quite an amount of time in terms of Parth, joining us now. So I would request that we can start as soon as possible because then it will help us to handle things nicely. We will
Hmm.
be sending you an email that will have the scope of our services. That means what all things we will be doing. Plus, it will have the recording of this meeting, our financials. So we will be charging you with 1,05,000 rupees for a period of 2 years, inclusive of the entire services that I told you.
Okay.
Okay. So that is how things are. You need to discuss it within your family and you need to get back to us on an immediate basis. That's how it is. Right? Okay. Anything else that I can do for you?
Sir, can I get the recording of this session?
Yes, ma'am. We will be sending that along with.
Okay, you will send it. Okay, fine.
Thank you so much for your time. I wish you all the best. Thank you.
Okay, thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
Thank you, sir. Have a nice.